Productive. Joining me now is Mary Abbajay, partner at the Career Stone Group. Mary, teleworking is the wave of the future for federal employees, but it's not about sitting on the couch and watching TV, I guess, huh?
Unfortunately, no. But teleworking is the wave of the future, and it's smart policy for the government to get on this bandwagon now. You
know, we have a guest on almost once, twice, 3 times a week because it's really the wave of the future, and we want to be at the forefront here on
That's right.
Washington Business Tonight, Fed News Tonight. So I can't just show up in sweats and my flip-flops and expect to be working. What's the psychology, how we should, because we had one teleworker from coming, well, she lives in Sterling, Virginia, which is a perfect place for her to be teleworking rather than taking 66 into town.
That's right.
And she's talked about that she maintains discipline, she dresses a certain way. Explain that.
Well, that's exactly right. You have to, the key to teleworking is it's working. So you have to really create a space in your house or your home, wherever you're teleworking from, that's conducive to working. So for some people, that's going to mean keeping a very tight routine, getting up, getting dressed, preparing yourself to go to work. It's going to mean carving out the right space in your home in which to work productively and effectively. Now, I can work really well in my pajamas and sweat clothes. Trust me, I'm used to it. I'm an introvert. I really would rather not have to go anywhere. But there are a lot of people that have to do that routine, that getting ready for work routine to get them psychologically in the mindset for working.
But how do they know it? If you think you can get by in your PJs, why can't I then?
Well, you know it pretty quickly if you have to assess how productive you are. You have to. This is about self-awareness, and this is about being honest with yourself and being able to really take a hard look in the mirror and say, when am I most productive? Because teleworking, in order to make it work, you have to prove your productivity. Because if you don't prove your productivity, you're going to lose your right to telework. And
I assume that's why a lot of managers and companies are afraid to touch the teleworking, because they don't know how to evaluate or assess that.
They don't know how to evaluate and assess it. And a lot of this is generational. If you look at in the federal sector, the people that are most resisting the teleworking are the baby boomer managers. Gen X and Gen Y are the ones that are all over it. And that's because the baby boomer managers haven't actually ever teleworked. For them, their work ethic is about showing up for work, butt and seat from 9 to 5. So for those managers who are afraid of it, I would suggest they try it one day a week.
Well, it's true, because we all see plenty of people at work who are texting, they're on the web, they're looking
really working.
They're really not working, but they're at work.
Exactly right.
You've talked about, so what are some other do's and don'ts that we should be aware of?
Do's and don'ts is teleworking is not an excuse to let go of your child care. This is one of the biggest fears that managers have. If you're working at home, you still have to arrange for child care. There's nothing worse than hearing a screaming child in the background. So it's not an excuse to stay home and take care of your kids. It's not an excuse to run errands. There's not an excuse to go get your mani-pedi and talk from your cell phone. So you really do have to work. You've got to also plan ahead. You need to bring home everything you need home, right? All your files. You have to have all your contacts. You have to have a space to put these. You also have to think about security. Are you taking home sensitive information? Are you keeping it secure? And you really, most importantly, just have to really stay committed and focused and dedicated to your work.
There are some drawbacks. Let's take a listen.
There are.
Watch.
Sometimes you kind of get dislocated from your company and they kind of out of sight, out of mind.
I wouldn't want that either, because it's really great to have that interaction with your colleagues.
So very quickly, as we wrap up, that is the concern. I'm not there for my boss to see me.
That's right. This is why teleworking should really be limited to 1 or 2 days a week. You cannot replace that face-to-face, the hallway interactions, the political mining of different contacts. Nothing replaces that. And when your boss wants you to come in for a face-to-face meeting, really do it. Even if it's teleworking day, don't resist it. Be flexible yourself.
Mary Abbajay, some good advice. Maybe I'll call this in someday, but I don't think so. All right.